Um, so there was some confusion over the weekend. So on Sundays, we had a class at Brisbane Bhakti Yoga Hare Krishna Temple at Burbank at 7:30 a.m. And those sessions will be live on Facebook. But for the rest of the week, from Monday to Saturday, we'll be doing it at 6:30 to 7 o'clock in the mornings. So the recordings are being uploaded in YouTube channel. So those devotees who have missed yesterday's class or would like to hear again any of the classes, you can go to Brisbane Bhakti Yoga YouTube channel in their classes. Very kindly have been, put by Radha Shantini Mataji, along with, Sanatan Goswami Prabhu. They're collaborating on, making this available. So yesterday, we were looking at text number 18. Let's look at this nice verse again. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Swamatu Svinnagatraya Visrasta Kavarasrajaha Drishtva Parishramam Krishna Vayasit Swabandhane. Translation. Because of Mother Yashoda's hard labor, her whole body became covered with perspiration, and the flowers and comb were falling from her hair. When child Krishna saw his mother thus fatigued, he became merciful to her and agreed to be bound. So yesterday we extensively discussed on this verse. Is someone's mic on? If the host can mute everyone, please. Thank you. So yesterday, looking at this verse, the important points we covered was that Krishna, as you mentioned, has two Shaktis, the Satya Sankalpa Shakti, which means whatever his desire is will always hold true. And Krishna desired to go out and play with his friends and not be bound by Mother Yashoda. So Krishna says, okay, Mother, I allowed you to catch me, but I don't allow you to bind me. So Krishna's Satya Sankalpa Shakti invokes Krishna's Vibhuti Shakti. Vibhuti Shakti means Krishna's greatness, Krishna's might. And what that results in, that although to the naked eye, Krishna's waist appears from Mother Yashoda's wrist to fist, only very small, this much. But when 150 feet of rope is joined, it is always 2 fingers short. And nonetheless, Mother Yashoda does not give up. She says, until the cows come home, I will.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, sound is gone.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you now.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So Mother Yashoda's determination, and we look that her determination is for welfare of Krishna. So when Krishna sees, so significant words here are Drishtva Parishramam Krishna. Parishramam, Srila Prabhupada nicely translates here as, he could understand that she was now overworked and feeling fatigued. So in devotional service, we have to be overworking for Krishna. This is what is required. Devotional service is not meant to be comfortable. Our comfort is in working extra hard. And that's only when Krishna's mercy flows, his Kripa Shakti flows. And when Krishna's Kripa Shakti flows, then Krishna comes under the control of devotee voluntarily. And it's not that the devotee wants to control Krishna. The devotee only wants to unreservedly and uninterruptedly serve Krishna. And it is that quality of the devotee that attracts Krishna. Mm. Uh, any questions on this verse? Please, I'd recommend those who haven't, had much time, listen to yesterday's class. So there we cover this verse quite elaborately. We'll move on to the next verse. Evam sandarshita yanga harinam vritya vatsyata svavashena pi krishnena yasyedam sheshvaram vashe. Translation. O Maharaj Parikshit, this entire universe, with its great exalted demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and Lord Indra, is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yet the Supreme Lord has one transcendental attribute. He comes under the control of his devotees. This was now exhibited by Krishna in this pastime. Would anyone like to read the purport, please? Okay, I'll read it then. This pastime of Krishna's is very difficult to understand, but devotees can understand it. It is therefore said, Darshayam stadvidam loka atmano bhaktavashyatam. Bhagavatam 9:11.9. The Lord displays the transcendental attribute of coming under the control of his devotees, as stated in Brahma Samhita. So, the Lord displays the pastime of coming under the control of his devotees. Now, this is very contradictory because in the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna says that I'm independent, I'm Swarat. So one who is Swarat, fully independent, how can he come under the control of his devotees? That means there is some fault in him. However, the Acharyas comment that this is not a fault, but rather an ornament of the Lord which enhances his all other qualities. What is the use of a person looking nice, being powerful, having all the good attributes, but yet that person does not have mercy, does not smile, does not speak nicely, does not touch the hearts of the people. So one who loves, it is natural that the person comes under the control of such love. And this is not a fault, this is rather an ornament. This pastime establishes this. Yashoda means one who gives fame to Krishna. Why this pastime is so important? Hare Krishna Prabhu's. Now says in Bhagavad Gita, Rasoham Apsukanteya. Or son of Kunti, I am the taste of water. So whenever we drink some water, we feel immediate comfort. And we should remember and pay our gratitude to Krishna. So this pastime establishes this fact that Krishna takes pleasure in becoming subordinate to his devotees, not an ordinary person. He won't come under control of an ordinary person. He comes only under the control of Bhritya. So here, the significant words in the second line is mentioned. Bhritya Vashyata. Vashyata means comes under control, and Bhritya means the devotee or the servant. So our path is of being a servant of the Lord in devotion. We cannot be Mother Yashoda. However, we can imbibe the mood of Mother Yashoda, or serve under the line of devotees serving under the gopis. So Kulshekar Maharaj very nicely says that, oh my Lord, O killer of Madhu and Kaitapa demon, I consider my life to be perfect if you listen to my prayer, the prayer being that mat prarthaniya mat anugraha esha eva, that you be merciful to me, to consider me as tvad bhritya bhritya paricharak bhritya bhritya bhrittasya bhritya iti mam smaralokanatha. So the word bhritya here is used 7 times. What it means that Krishna, please consider me to be the 7 of 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 the 7, 7 times removed. So this is the mood. Kopi Bhritya Pat Kamalayo Dasanu Dasanu Dasa. We want to be sevens of the sevens of the sevens in saving their mission, in saving Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON mission. And when we are in that mood, nicely saving without any motive, but working for the benefit of the devotees and in saving Krishna with love and devotion, then guess what? Krishna is looking. Drishtva. Drishtva means he's looking. He's looking at what? Parishramam. He's looking at our endeavor, our honest endeavor. And when he looks at our honest endeavor, then his mercy naturally flows. So in this pastime, Yashoda shows that how she brings Krishna under her control and she makes Krishna famous. She makes Krishna's this quality of bhakta vashyata broadcast throughout the universes. And Yashoda means one who gives fame to Krishna. It is said, Yashaha dadati iti Yashodaha. One who gives Yasha, fame to Krishna, that person is Yashoda. So Yashoda makes Krishna famous in this pastime, that Krishna comes under the control of the love of his devotees. And what Yashoda gives to Krishna, that despite Krishna being great and majestic in his powers of his inconceivable energy and his infinity, he still comes under the control of her love. So, therefore, we all have hope. If we save in this mood, without any motive, then we can become recipient to receive Krishna's mercy, because that is nature of Krishna. He is Karuna Sindhu. However, our part we have to fulfill. What is our part? Parishrama. We have to endeavor. So to this end, I want to discuss few verses from scriptures of Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which contains synonym of this word endeavor. Now here, Mother Yashoda endeavors to find Krishna. But what does it practically mean for us? How can we endeavor? So if it can be shared in the screen, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.8. This verse contains synonyms. So there are 5 or 6 verses which contains the synonym. Synonym means the similar word to the word parishrama that we are considering. So in this particular verse, Swamatuhu Swinagatraya Visrasta Kavarasracha Drishtva Parishramam Krishna Kripaya Seed Swabandhane. Srila Prabhupada translates Parishrama as he could understand that she was now overworked and feeling fatigued. So in simple words, Parishram means hard labor, especially to please Krishna. However, we can also work hard, but not for the pleasure of Krishna. So this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.8, you can note it down. It mentions
share it,
this. Yes, please, you can share it. So this verse is Dharmasvanushtita pumsam vishvaksena kathasuyam notpadayed yadiratim shrama eva hi kevalam. So let's look at translation very quickly. The occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of personality of Godhead. So we have our own work, our own swadharma. Prabhuji, if you can go to the original Sanskrit, that would be good. So that means our swadharma, dharma swanushtita, looking after family, looking after children. However, the main purpose of life is that despite doing all our swadharma, that we have attraction for Krishna's pastime. So that is called Vishvaksena Kathasuya. However, at the end of our lives, or at the end of the day, na utpadiyed yadi ratim. Ratim means attraction. If our attraction for listening and hearing to Krishna's pastime does not take place, then shrama eva hi kevalam. Shrama means useless labor in this context. Whatever endeavor or hard work we did is just useless. Why? Because what's the use? At the end of the life, we remain devoid of love of Krishna. So working hard is good, but for what purpose we are working hard? Parishrama has to have a sense of purpose and intention. For example, we are discussing yesterday that Mushtika and Chanura, the two wrestlers of Kamsa, they were working hard and they were also giving pleasure to Krishna. But their hard work was based of harming Krishna. They wanted to kill Krishna. However, Mother Yashoda, in time Krishna, she's not giving pleasure to Krishna. She's making him crying. Krishna is fearful. But the purpose and the intent behind Mother Yashoda is to protect Krishna. And therefore, that endeavor ultimately invokes mercy in Krishna's heart. But Mushtika and Chanu's endeavor actually is endeavor on alone, and it's detrimental. So we have to evaluate our life. For what we are working so hard? If that work does not ultimately result in na utpadiyet. Na means not, and utpadiyet means it does not produce ratim, attraction for Krishna Katha. So the synonym word here is shrama. But there is parishrama and there is shrama. So for what purpose we should work hard? So next verse, Krishna gives very nicely. It's in 1.5.18. So Prabhuji, if you can put that verse on the screen. Very nice verse. Narad Muni gives this instruction to Vyasadeva. Tasyaiva heto prayate takovido na labhyate yat brahmata upra adha tallabhyate dukkhavadanyata sukham kalena sarvatra gambhira ramhasam. So Narad Muni here says that tasyaiva heto. Heto means purpose. For that purpose, one should prayateta. Prayateta here means endeavor. So this is another synonym of parishrama, shrama. Prayatna karna, as we say in Hindi, kovida. Kovida means expert. So for that purpose, one should endeavor that which is not attained by going to higher planets or lower planets. So Krishna Bhakti isn't attained either in a Brahma Loka or Patal Loka. We can go throughout the whole of the universe trying to be happy. But that happiness of Krishna Bhakti cannot be attained like that. Actually, it is said, Abrahma Sambha Paryantam Sarvam Maya Mayam Jagat, that Krishna, through his Maya, illusory energy, binds everyone through the three modes of nature. So there is no happiness in this material world. Even if you consider happiness, it is mentioned that just like without inviting happiness, sorry, just without inviting miseries, miseries still come. We don't have to open our doors and say, oh, misery, please come. No, they come. So similarly, kalena sarvatra gambhira ramhasa, in subtle course of time, the happiness also will come. Hmm. And for that purpose, we don't have to work extra hard. Uh, if we work extra hard for happiness, Prabhu's and Mataji's, definitely misery will come if we work extra hard for happiness. Rather, if we work extra hard to please Krishna, then actually we will be happy. In either happiness or misery, in both conditions, we'll be happy if we try to please Krishna. So this is another important verse. Throughout the day, you can meditate on these verses. Next verse, Prabhu Bhagavad Gita 9.14. Now this verse 9.14 tells us how practically we can apply the learning of this pastime. Mother Yashoda does parishrama to bind Krishna. But should we take a rope and bind Krishna like that? No, that is Sahajiya mentality. There is no purpose for us to take a rope. However, our purpose, as we are discussing, is to take our chanting beads and turn our chanting beads. This is how we can bring Krishna under the control of the chanting beads, just by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now this verse is very important, both in its meaning, in its secrecy, and also in the context of it being the essence, we can say, or the main instruction of Bhagavad Gita. Now, Bhagavad Gita has 700 verses, and the 350th and the 351st verse form the right middle slokas or verses of Bhagavad Gita. And this is the 351st verse of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna has packed the secret of Bhagavad Gita right in the middle. And this middle verse, what is it telling us? Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dradam vrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. So word to word, if we look at, we see Satatam, Krishna is saying, means always. Kirtayantaha, chanting. So chanting of Krishna's names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Mam. So this is Krishna's names we have to chant. Krishna doesn't say chant any other name. No, his name. He has many names. But the primary mantra our Acharya has given us, the Hare Krishna mantra. But how do we have to chant it? Yatantaha. Yatantaha is another synonym for endeavor, parishrama. Prabhupada translates very nicely, fully endeavoring. And how fully endeavoring? Dridhavrataha. Dridhavrataha means with determination. So we are all having designated rounds to chant. Those who are not initiated, they have undergone the Siksha ceremony where they chant either 1 round, 4 rounds, 8 rounds, 12 rounds, or 16 rounds. However, our endeavor is to always chant more and more. So for this purpose, we have to endeavor, yatantaha, and with dridhavrata. So Rupa Goswami very nicely mentions 3 qualities of this yatantaha, that we should be enthusiastic, utsaha, always enthusiastic in chanting. Today I have an opportunity to chant. For what? For pleasure of Krishna, not for the purpose, I'll finish my rounds, I have to finish my rounds. That is not a good sense of purpose. That's very ritual. The Nam Acharya, Haridas Thakur, he used to chant not to complete his round, he used to chant for pleasure of Krishna. So when we take up chanting beads in the morning, with this sense of purpose, oh Krishna, let me chant and call out your names for your pleasure. The whole mood and the dynamics then change. And we have to do this with enthusiasm, utsaha. And then nishayat. Nishayat means determination. Even though it is difficult, even though there may be so many other priorities, no, I'll give this one and face priority. And then dhairyat. Dhairyat means patience or perseverance in practice. Sometimes we may not feel like chanting, but nonetheless, we become cognizant of this fact that no, Drishtva Parishramam Krishna, that Krishna is looking at my endeavor. Even though I don't feel like chanting, I'm still chanting. So Krishna will perhaps look at my endeavor and grant me some taste for chanting. And Kripaya, his Kripa, his mercy will flow in this way. So in this way, if we turn to the practical lessons of this pastime, it comes back to us on how our quality of chanting and how our quality of devotional service is. And we can pray to Krishna like this: Krishna, I don't have attraction, but you please give me attraction. I'm trying, and I'm trying very, very hard. Again, this verse is so nice. We have to endeavor, namasyantascha mam bhaktya, to bow down to Krishna. Every time we enter the temple, every time we see the devotee, even in our minds, we bow down to that devotee. As much as possible, we bow down physically. Mam bhaktya, we become Krishna's devotee. We stay in devotion. And in this way, nitya yukta. Nitya means perpetually. Yukta means engaged. So we perpetually be engaged in upasate, in worshipping Krishna. And this is our endeavor on the basis of determination, on the foreground of full determination. And this pleases Krishna very much. Again, to sum up this session, that Bhritya Vashyata, Krishna comes under the control of the love of his devotee. And the devotee has a sense of purpose to please Krishna and do things that are for welfare of Krishna. And when Krishna sees that, then he cannot help but come under the control of the love of that devotee. So time is almost up. Have a very blissful Krishna conscious day. Krishna willing, we'll see you again tomorrow. In the meantime, please meditate on these verses. There's one or two extra verses that as homework you can look at, and the reference to those verses is 2.8.4, 2.8.4, and 10.11.9. So tomorrow we'll try to look at these verses again. Thank you so much, Prabhus and Matajis. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.